Alright guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we'll be designing and working on this microphone shell you see on screen. We'll be learning a lot of features in this video, such as creating a revolved base feature, extruding a thin feature, shelling apart, creating an oblong cut, creating a linear pattern, creating a circular pattern, and finally using an equation to drive the circular pattern. So mainly we'll be focusing on these extruded cuts, and we'll be duplicating them or multiplying them around this revolved part using a circular and linear pattern. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and close this off. Let's click on the house icon and go ahead and click on parts. So this allows us to work on a new part. Let's go ahead and change our units to mmgs, millimeter gram second. And first things first is you want to go ahead and right click on front plane and you want to normal to. Alright, let's go ahead and create a sketch on this front plane. We can go over here to the feature manager design tree or go in the graphics area, right click and just click on sketch. Now once we're in the sketch, we can go ahead and go to your sketch toolbar, click on line, and you kind of want to follow this pattern that I'm going to be drawing here. The lengths of the lines don't really matter right now. We'll fix that in the smart dimension. So let's go ahead and start with this long vertical line, which should be 90 degrees or completely vertical. From here, let's go to a horizontal line, back to a shorter vertical line, then a diagonal that is at the same level as the origin, and we'll go ahead and close this sketch off with another horizontal line. So just like that, we can go ahead and click OK, and we could go ahead and click on our sketch toolbar, click on smart dimension, and let's go ahead and dimension these lines. Alright, let's zoom in a bit. We're going to go ahead and dimension this longer line as 100 millimeters. Then we'll do this top one as 30 millimeters. This shorter vertical one should be 50 millimeters. Then the bottom one should be 15 millimeters. So go ahead and type that in the modify box and click OK. And just like that, our sketch is fully defined. Alright, so next you want to go ahead and go to your sketch toolbar and you want to click on sketch fillet. You want to go ahead and make sure that keep constrained corners is selected, and you want to change the radius to 30 millimeters. Now entities to fillet, go ahead and click that, and you want to click on the point right here between the 50 millimeter line and the diagonal line right here. So go ahead and click on that point, and we should have a fillet of 30 millimeters right on that point. As you can see, we zoom in, we have this nice curve, but as we can see, we still have this diagonal line and this vertical line as reference. Alright, so once we've done that, let's go ahead and exit out of sketch fillet tool. Let's go ahead and click on zoom to fit, and you want to go ahead and go to features, click on revolved boss base. What this does is basically it helps us create an extrusion around an axis. So on axis of revolution, the reference axis that we'll be using is going to be this vertical 100 millimeter line. So let's go ahead and click on it and make sure your direction angle is set to 300 degrees. So as you can see, we're already seeing a preview here of how that piece is going to look like. Once we see that, let's go ahead and click OK. And just like that, we already have a nice looking solid piece. This will basically be the base of our entire piece. Alright, so now what you want to do is go ahead and select this top face of the microphone shell. You want to go ahead and go to your features toolbar, click on extruded boss base, and we'll normal to that face automatically. Go to your sketch toolbar. This opens up a sketch by itself, and you want to go ahead and click on offset entities. This is going to help us create another circle real easy without having to manually make it. And your offset distance here, you want to go ahead and set it to 2 millimeters. Just type in 2. And you want to make sure that your reverse box is clicked. So we want to extrude this circle on the inside of the microphone shell. Let's go ahead and click on the OK icon. Alright, let's go ahead into isometric view. Let's go ahead and exit out of the sketch. And now it's time to extrude this sketch. So in your property manager under direction 1, you want to make sure that it is set to blind, and you want your distance to be 5 millimeters. Alright, so under direction 1, let's go ahead and check mark thin feature. And you want to click on this button, reverse direction, so the actual extrusion occurs on the inside of the shell. Make sure it is set to one direction. And you want your thickness to be 3 millimeters, just like that. So once you set all those parameters in, let's go ahead and click on the OK icon. Let's go ahead and go into isometric view. And just like that, we now have a thin feature on our microphone shell. Let's go ahead back into isometric. Alright, so now it's time to use the shell feature. What the shell features does, it's basically going to hollow out the whole piece depending on where we want to hollow it out. So let's go ahead and click on features, click on shell, and we want our thickness to be 3 millimeters. So that's the thickness between, or basically the thickness of the walls in this piece. And our first face that we'll be going from is going to be this top face. And we want to hollow it out all the way at the bottom over here. Now we could go ahead and take a look at how this is going to turn out by clicking on show preview. Doesn't really show us too much, but once we have these parameters in, let's go ahead and click on the OK button. And just like that, our piece has been hollowed out from the top all the way to the bottom. Alright, now it's time to sketch the oblong cuts. Let's go ahead and go to the features toolbar, click on extruded cut. We want to select front plane. So it's going to create a sketch automatically on that plane. Then we want to create a line using center line. Let's go ahead and sketch a line from the origin, which is the bottom of the piece, the middle bottom of the piece, and just sketch it all the way to the top, making sure it is vertical and it touches all the way at the top layer. Alright, so now we want to create 2 more lines. Right now, the dimensions do not matter. We'll fix that later with the smart dimension. But starting from the center line that we created, let's go ahead and draw a horizontal line coming out through here. And we want to make another one exactly how we did it before, clicking on the center line and making sure that it is at the same length as the one before. Just like that, we could press escape or click on the OK icon. After this, we do want to make a tangent arc. So in your sketch toolbar, go ahead and select tangent arc. And let me just zoom it in more for you guys. And you want to make sure to make an arc from this point to this bottom point. So click out And just like that, go ahead and click on the opposite point, which will be your endpoint for this arc. And there we go. Go ahead and click on the OK button. Alright, so this is going to be a symmetric sketch, meaning we want to mirror it on the other side of this line. Well, this is pretty easy. Let's go ahead and go to our sketch toolbar and click on mirror entities. In the box entities to mirror, you want to go ahead and select the entities that we sketched previously, so this line, as well as this line, and this arc. Now in the property manager, go ahead and click the box mirror about, and we basically want to mirror about this center line. We can see a preview right there. Let's go ahead and click the OK button, and we have the same sketch unifying both lines and arcs together to create just one single sketch. Now from here we can go ahead and use the smart dimension to fully define the sketch. So go to your sketch toolbar, click on smart dimension, and let's go ahead and zoom out a bit here. Go ahead and click on your tangent arc and the bottom of the solid piece. Now from the bottom of the piece to the center of our arc, we want a length or a height of 60 millimeters. Go ahead and type that in the modify box and click on OK. There we go. Now, we want a length of 10 millimeters between both centers of the arcs. So go ahead with the same smart dimension tool, click first one center, then the other, and you want to place that smart dimension, typing in 10 millimeters in your modify box, and clicking OK. Alright, so next we want 5 millimeters of diameter of this arc. Another way to do it is that we can set a distance between both horizontal lines. So by clicking one line and then the other, we can go ahead and fully define the sketch. Let's go ahead and type 5 millimeters, then the OK button. And just like that, our sketch is fully defined. Alright, so let's go ahead and click into our isometric view. Now remember, this sketch is going to be kind of in the middle of our piece. That's because we created on the front plane here. So here, let's go ahead and click on Hidden Lines Visible, so we have a better view of the interior of the piece. Before I actually go ahead and do anything, let's go ahead and go to Sketch Entities, click on View Sketch Relations, just so those View Sketch Relations doesn't obstruct our view. So now we want to go ahead and exit the sketch. And remember that we've selected Extruded Cut before starting the sketch. So our property manager is going to pop up automatically. And what we want to do is go ahead and click in our end condition through all. And once we have selected through all, let's go ahead and click on the OK box. And there we go. As you can see from the interior, we have made an extruded cut, or if we turn it from this side, we can see that that part is hollowed out. So next step is to multiply this same cut extrude on the same side of the piece. So in our feature manager design tree, let's go ahead and go over to cut extrude 1 and double click it. Once we've double clicked it, we can see that our smart dimension values are going to pop up. So once we do that, go to your features toolbar and click on linear pattern. Alright, so under direction 1 in pattern direction, let's go ahead and click this value of 60. So we can create this cut extrude on the same direction of this line. But as you can see in the preview, we will be getting cut extrudes on the bottom of the original one, but we actually want it the other way around. We actually want these new cut extrudes on top of the original one. So to just reverse that, let's go ahead and click the reverse button in direction 1. And we will have those cut extrudes on the top of the original one. Alright, and we also want a spacing of 10. As you can see, we already have that value set in. And we also want 4 instances, meaning we want 4 elements in total, counting the original one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 instances, or 4 of those cut extrudes. Okay, so once we have this, 10 millimeters and 4 instances, as well as we have the cut extrude selected, let's go ahead and click on the OK button. And just like that, we have multiplied that same cut extrude sketch 3 more times. Pretty easy, right? This basically saved us more time because we did not have to do it manually. Alright, so next we're going to go ahead and use the circular pattern tool. Basically, this will allow us to multiply these 4 oblong cuts around a axis or around a revolved piece. So first off, we need a reference axis, which we do have, but it is not visible as of now. So in order to view that axis, let's go ahead and go to view all the way at the top of the SOLIDWORKS program, hide/show, and you want to go ahead and click on temporary axis. And just like that, we have the middle axis of this revolved piece. Alright, so next we want to go ahead and use that circular pattern tool. So go to your features toolbar. Under linear pattern, let's go ahead in the pop-up menu, select circular pattern. And under direction 1, let's go ahead and click on this box, which will be the pattern axis. This is the reference axis where we'll be basically copying these oblong cuts around this axis. So we will be copying these oblong cuts around this middle axis. So go ahead and click on that axis and make sure it pops up in your pattern axis box. Now in your angle, you want to make sure it is set to 120 degrees, and your number of instances is going to be 3. So in total, we will have 3 columns of these oblong cuts. Now we haven't selected which feature we are going to create a pattern. So under features and faces, go ahead and click on the box features to pattern. And over here in your feature manager design tree on the right, we want to make sure to click on L pattern 1. And there we go. As you can see, we have a little preview of how that's going to look. We can see that we will be creating 2 more columns of this oblong cut. So once we have that, let's go ahead and click on the OK box in the property manager. Now next we want to go ahead and hide that temporary axis. To do that, again, go to view, hide/show, and click on temporary axis. So we can remove that. Alright, so now let's go ahead and take a look at the whole piece with shaded with edges, just to see how that might turn out. And there we have it. We have created 3 columns using the circular pattern of these oblong cuts. But we are not done just yet, because we can control the circular pattern or the number of instances and the degrees between these columns using an equation. So first off, let's go ahead and click on Sir Pattern 1, double click, and we can see that these parameters will show up. 120 degrees, which is the spacing between each instance, and the number of instances which we have, which is 3. Now in order to input the equation, let's go ahead to the top of the SOLIDWORKS program, under Tools, and you want to select Equations. Make sure you are in the equation view, under the name, under the column name, and under the equation section, let's just click on Add Equation. Now here, what you want to do is go ahead and select that 120 degrees, which is in the graphics area, just like this. And under the value / equation section, you want to type in 360 / and select the number of instances, which is also in the graphics area. As you can see, it is 3. Just go ahead and click that, and you will know that your equation is correct when you have this green check mark. So once we have that, go ahead and click on OK. And there we go. We have inputted our equation. So now we can control the number of instances just by changing a parameter. So let's go ahead and click on Insert Pattern 1. Go ahead and click on the 3 parameter, change it to 4, and click Enter. And there we go. We have created one more column around our revolved piece. So now we have 4 instances in total with 4 oblong cuts in each of these instances, and we also change automatically using the equation the line spacing, which is 90 degrees, and we know that it is linked to an equation because it has that summation symbol. So let's go ahead into our isometric view, click anywhere in our graphics area, and let's go ahead and, just for fun, add some color to it. Once we have the colors out, let's go ahead and select this kind of really baby blue color. And there we have it. We have finished designing and sketching and extruding this piece. It is a simple microphone shell. We hollowed out everything out. We created 4 instances around the revolved piece, creating oblong cuts. We learned how to use circular pattern. We learned how to use linear pattern and some other features that you guys probably knew how to use. But this is basically the whole piece. I hope you guys learned a lot in this lesson. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the lesson. And go ahead and hit the like button, comment, subscribe. It'll help me a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next video.